Hello, and thank you for joining us here at Vitality. I'm your host, Jay, and I wanted to make a private video for everyone here to understand why I got involved with LifeWave patches and my personal experience and my wife's experience as well, and why we're creating the opportunity to share this information with everybody that we know and love. And it's because it's life-changing. And I got to tell you, when I first was approached by a friend of mine, he's in his 60s as well. We were both kind of feeling the same way. I was getting to the end of my energy before I was getting to the end of my day. And for my wife, she was not sleeping very well, and it hasn't ever since COVID hit back in 2019, 2020. It stole a lot of our lives away from everybody, really. But nonetheless, she was having trouble sleeping, and I was having trouble with my energy levels. And my friend called me and said, you know what, you need to look into this product. And at first, like everyone, you're skeptical because you're not sure what they're saying, what the product is. And there's so many scams out there. There's so many things out there that are unreliable, that all they want is their money, the people's money, your money and mine. And so at first I was very skeptical, but I knew my friend and I knew that he was genuine. And so I paid attention to the video. I watched the video, and I'm really, really glad I did, because about 20 minutes in, the video began to make sense to me. It's Dr. David Schmidt, who is the scientist, founder, CEO of LifeWave. The man has over 200 patents, over 90 of which are around the bioregeneration and age reversal. I found it very interesting. What intrigued me was he began his science for the United States Navy SEALs. They came to him and we need a product that's going to help our SEALs maintain their energy levels while they're out on the missions, something that's natural and not invasive. And he created the very first LifeWave patch called the Energy Enhancer, which is still available today and does produce tremendous amounts of energy for us. But that had my attention because he's dealing with U.S. Navy. And it also had my attention when he began to tell his story about how he found some of the discoveries that led him to where we are today. And as scientists, they are created basically, their mindset is to notice and to pay attention to patterns. And so he's watching the patterns of these genomes of lobsters, and how lobsters basically, unless they're eaten by a predator, they don't die. I think the oldest one that we know of is Louis, and he has a video 20 years ago. Louis was a 132-year-old lobster, so today he'd be a 152-year-old lobster. And he found that the genome in the lobster, the 152-year-old Louis, is stronger than the genome of the 1-year-old lobster. But there were patterns that were in the numbers, in the numerics of the breaking down of the genomes of the blood of this animal, creature. And he found a pattern that he also found in the wheelhouse of Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 in basic Hebrew. And every Hebrew letter has a number assigned to it, not unlike Roman numerals have numbers assigned to it. In the Hebrew, it's called gematria. And he was looking at Genesis 1 and 1, which is in my wheelhouse because I teach biblical Hebrew. And he saw the patterns in the gematria of Genesis 1 and 1, and he recognized the pattern as the same pattern that was in the genomes of these other creatures that he's studying, and realized that our Creator has set something in motion inside of the human genome that light has its effects on. And this is how he came about. And he tells you this story, but I'm just telling you as well before you get deeply involved in some of these things, because you're going to love this product. We do. But it was all about light. And it's no different than you and I going out into the sunlight and the sun hitting our skin. And the sun hitting our skin sends a message to our skin to begin to create either melanin or create vitamin D. It's the same thing that he's doing with his patches. And he was doing this with the Navy SEALs. And so now you fast forward 20 years, 200 patents later, and we have the X39 patch, which it comes in this little packet like this. And it's not like the heavy infrared lamps that you're going to be using for photolight therapy, where you got this big thing you got to lug around, or a mat that's $4,000, and you're going to lay on this mat and the light's going to enhance. It's not like that at all. It's a little small patch. It's like this. It's the size of a quarter. If I put it up here, you'd understand the difference in the size of it. It's very small, very lightweight, disposable. There's 30 of them in a sleeve. And you wear them 12 hours on, 12 hours off. And when I started doing this, and my wife started doing this 35 days ago now, at first I didn't notice a difference with the X39. It took a couple days. But then I realized just one day out of the blue, hey, I've got more energy. And now here I am over a month on the product. Told my son last night at 9 o'clock, I hate it when the evening comes because everybody goes to bed and I don't want to go to bed. I want to continue to work. And so I will work into 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning now with a lot of energy left over when I go to bed. My wife is taking the X39. She also wears another patch called the Eon patch. She puts that on about an hour before she goes to bed. Best sleep, she says, I've ever had in my life. And what's really, really interesting is my wife is a critic. She's very, very cautious about what she gets involved in. But when she finds something that works, she will tell all her friends about it. So she goes to the doctor 3 days ago. And she's been with this doctor for many years. And she goes in and says, Doc, I want to tell you, I've been on this X39 patch from LifeWave, and it's changed my life. I sleep better. I have more energy. My mood is better. My outlook is better. I'm not fighting any depression or anything along anxiety or any of those things that she was kind of going through. And to her surprise, the doctor looked at her and smiled and said, I've been on them for 5 years myself. They're absolutely amazing. Keep doing it. And so I just wanted to share this with you because we're not talking about stem cells and stem cell injections. We are talking about stem cells, but not a stem cell injection. When you understand how the product works, you understand, well, I'll go ahead and get into it. When you and I were born, we had 1 billion stem cells in our bodies, and that's what allows us all the way up to our age of 20 to play and run and have a good time and get up in the morning and do it all over again. You can run and play football, you can play tag, you can race, you can do all kind of things, ride your bike, do all the things that we did when we were kids, and we do it for 12 hours. And then when we come in, we go to bed, we get up in the morning, we do that all over again the next day. That's just being young. But when you hit the 20-year mark, from age 20 to age 30, you lose 60% of your stem cells. They become dormant. They don't die, they just become dormant. And so now you're 35 running around, you do it for 12 hours, and the next morning you got your aches and pains, and I need to slow down, I got a couple of days to heal. Time you're 60, it's working really hard and then taking 2 days off to recover. That's kind of the way life has gone. So what David Schmidt in his science and in his patented products has created for you and I is a way to elevate our active stem cells without the invasiveness of stem cell injections. And let me explain that. In the United States, stem cells injections are anywhere from $20,000 to $25,000 per injection. They're localized. You have to take usually 2 or 3, and with about a 35% efficacy rate on average. In other words, you got a 35% chance it's going to work for you, and if it does, you got to keep doing it. So you can run $50,000, $60,000 up real quick just to see if this is going to work, and it's very localized. And it's expensive because it's illegal in the United States and people are putting their career on the line to do that. If you go to Mexico, maybe $5,000, but still, you're talking 3 shots, you're talking $15,000 over a 6-month period with a 35% chance of it working for you. So let me explain what this is. This patch right here, you wear. You're not lugging around lamps. You're not lugging around mats. You're not laying out for 4 or 5 hours. You're putting this patch on the back of your neck, and you're wearing it for 12 hours. When you get up in the morning, you put it on. When you go to bed, you take it off, and that's it. And what this patch does is it takes the natural low-level infrared light that emanates from our bodies and reflects a specific light wave back onto our skin, which then gives the same signal that the sun tells our skin to start making vitamin D, elevate your vitamin D. It is telling our bodies to elevate what's called GHK copper peptides. Elevate your copper peptides up. When the body starts creating more copper peptides and elevating our level of copper peptides, the copper peptides then begin to give direction to the dormant stem cells in our body. So we're not bringing in outside stem cells. We're not invading our body with somebody else's stem cells. We're not carrying lamps and rugs and all those other things that we're mats and the things that we're talking about. We're talking about a little small patch like this with a 96% efficacy rate. And to wear this patch is about the price of a Starbucks coffee. Okay? It's not very expensive at all. But you're not really sure what it's going to do for you until you try it. What I mean by that, as I said earlier, everybody is different and every body is different. So I really don't know what's going to do for you. I just know that the testimonies across the world are legion as to how it's changed them, and everybody's different. So you need to get involved in this. If you want more information, just reach out to me. We meet every Tuesday at 6:30 to teach our team. And our team is growing. You need to be a part of that. You'd be excited about that. But this is going to change your life in so many ways if you give it a chance. This is my way of saying to my friends and family, look at what is available and how much better of a life that we have found in just 4 or 5 short weeks. Wait till 6-month period. Wait till a year. It's absolutely exciting to know that this is non-invasive. This isn't like a nicotine patch. You stick it on there and you start transferring nicotine into your body. This is a non-transdermal patch. It is a single amino acid. It's different crystals of salt and sugar, and it's mixed into form a lattice work with inside of this, and then it's completely concealed in what's called medical grade plastic. So there's nothing transdermally entering into your body. It's just reflecting your own natural light back onto your skin and creating this, but it's absolutely life-changing. So if you want more information about it, just reach out to me. We'll bring you in if you're in the Dayton area. We have meetings every Tuesday to continue to educate our team and to help with the new products that are coming out and the different ways of patch placements and different things that are advanced and all that. Wonderful time. You meet a lot of new people. You have a good time. You feel better. Listen, if this is for you, if it sounds even interesting to you, just reach out to me and come visit me, or I'll call you, come visit you, and we'll help you get involved. Thanks again, and thanks for joining us here with Vitality with Jay Gillis.